I'm gonna let this spin until we're live today for another level up lesson. Here we are. Okay, I am live to talk to you guys today about running to a yes and creating the sales intention that has people ready and eager to buy from you. And this is probably one of my favorite conversations to have because I think it's something that doesn't get talked about enough in a sales process throughout what we're doing. So as you're jumping on live, let me know that you are here and say hello so that we can welcome you in. And we're gonna get started in just 1 second to start talking about running to a yes and creating the intention within sales that creates those eager, ready to buy buyers. So I haven't been live in quite some time. My kids were on summer break, so it's kind of funny coming back into this. I feel like I'm like a newbie in the world of lives again. Hi, Rose, and I'm super excited. So I thought, what better than to find a topic that I am like crazy about. So I know that when I started in my business and when I was growing my business, I looked around and I noticed that there were some people who were putting out these offers and people would just jump at, right? You see them, every time they put something out, people are just running and ready to buy from them. And the truth of the matter is we all want that, right? We all want to be able to have people who are running to work with us. But in order to do that, there's a really important factor that is understanding how to create sales intent right out of the gate, okay? Understanding this, knowing how to leverage this within your client acquisition is what allows you to have people who are hot and ready and wanting to buy from you without you spending months and months convincing people. So you hear me talk about this all the time about why we don't actually need long sales cycles to convince people. But it also comes down to being able to create this high demand, right? This demand that allows you to not only book out your business, but have people who are happy to jump on your wait list and wait to work with you because they know that you're the only solution. It also allows you to create predictability in your sales so that you know how to scale that client acquisition, right? It's one thing to be able to create client acquisition. It's another thing for you to be able to scale it month after month. So in this training, I'm going to break down for you how to get your clients running to a yes by creating high demand using sales intent, okay? So if you're new here and you don't know me, my name is Naz Echeverry. I'm a business growth strategist and 19-year marketing expert. And I show coaches, consultants, and healers how to take cold leads and turn them into ready-to-buy pre-sold clients in just 7 days using my Easy Yes method, the Netflix-inspired sales system. So let's go ahead and jump right in it because I'm all about the no fluff, okay? So here's what you need to understand. This formula literally changed my entire business. It allowed me to be able to scale and hit 6-figure months without hating my business, but it's also allowed me to help a lot of other people do the same thing. So we got to start with understanding how we break the sales intent norms and why so many businesses that you see create these really fluctuating months in their business of getting really high and then they fall off the face of the earth. I don't want that for you. I really do believe in sustainability in business. It's the reason I have clients who come back 10, 11 years later telling me that they're still doing something that works. It's because we built the intent into the business for it to succeed long term, okay? So here's the deal. Most of what you're seeing on the internet is really based on a type of selling and marketing technique that is about pushing, right? It's this intent, it's based on pain points. It's about stirring people up. It's about pushing them to create intent. We're manufacturing intent, okay? The problem with manufacturing intent and like a typical marketing funnel is we're dragging people along. Not only does it take forever, I'm talking 90 days, 180 days. There's this whole idea of it taking a really long time. But on top of it, it's this push version of marketing. So it's built to have you burn through your leads and burn you out in the process. So every scaling person out there is teaching this idea of get more leads, pull your business, push this, and keep pushing through this funnel, right? The problem with this is you are stuck in a place of pushing people to intent, okay? What I mean by this is you're speaking to someone who doesn't have intent right now. They're the person who maybe they're dabbling in the problem. Maybe they're dabbling in whether or not they care enough about this problem. Maybe they're dabbling in the fact that a solution is important to them. They are not fully intent. They don't have a high intent in solving the problem. So you get stuck dragging. You get stuck pulling people along, convincing them every single step of the way. Drop a 1 if you've ever felt like this. If you ever feel like you're spending a lot of your time in your marketing and your client acquisition process in a convincing process, in waiting for people to go from meeting you to saying yes, okay? The truth of the matter is sales intent, marketing intent is a two-way street. So while you have the intention of serving, you have the intention of getting people amazing results. If the person you're looking at and talking to doesn't have the same intent right now, then you are literally speaking to a brick wall. Sales intention is about a two-way street, okay? It's about you being able to have mutual intent between each other. If you do not have mutual intent, you are selling to someone who does not need you right now. And let's be real, not only does that feel really frustrating for you, it also really diverts your energy to the people who don't want to work with you. And who wants to do that? Who wants to spend all of their time speaking to someone who's not interested in what they're doing? Okay? I don't know about you, but that's not something I want to do, right? So again, I want you guys to start thinking about that and ask yourself, am I speaking to someone who has the intent to say yes? Okay, this is a really important thing to think about because oftentimes you have the intent of serving, you have the intent of wanting to support someone, but maybe that person in front of you doesn't have the intent to say yes. And therefore, it feels like a struggle to pull them along. Now, I want you to think for a second. Now, what happens if we shift this? What if instead of speaking to the person who doesn't have an intention of saying yes, doesn't feel like this is the next step they want to take, we speak to someone who does. We speak to the person who's sitting there right now and saying, holy moly, I wish that there was someone here right in front of me who could solve my problem, who could give me a solution to fix this thing that is ailing me, that is frustrating me. Now the entire relationship changes. It becomes about mutual intent, okay? Drop a 2 if you guys understand what I mean with this, what mutual intent looks like. So I asked one of my clients the other day, I asked her because she said, hey, I want to book more calls. And I said, okay, awesome. Right now, what is the intent in your content? What do you think your content is helping people do? And she says, well, I'm giving them information. I'm doing this. And I said, that's awesome. Do you think it's giving them the intent to book a call? Blank stare. The answer was no, right? A lot of times we don't look at the fact that mutual intention means that we understand where people are at, we understand where we want people to go, and we literally create a pathway between those two places. You are not in the business of convincing people. You are not in the business of telling people that they need what you have if they do not have the intent already, okay? Change the game. Shift how you market your business, but more importantly, shift how you actually get clients in there by understanding how to speak to the people of intent, okay? So I want you to start thinking of this. Are the people that you're speaking to in your message, do they already know that they have a problem, that they want to solve the problem, and that they're looking for a solution to fix that problem? If the answer is no, who you are positioning yourself to is the wrong audience. So it doesn't matter how much work you do, you're always going to be dragging people along, okay? So we want to look at that mutual intention of, are they ready to solve their problem? If the answer is yes, you're speaking to the right person and your intent is going to match their intent, okay? Do they trust you? Do they see you as a credible authority? If the answer is yes, then you have met in mutual intent, okay? When we understand that two-way street of marketing and selling and making offers, we take a totally different role in things, okay? So I want you to think of these things and go back and look at, am I speaking to the right person? Do I have the right intent? What do you want people to do when they come into your world? I asked this question a couple weeks ago. What do you want someone to do when they enter into your world? So someone meets you today, what is the intention you have where you want to direct them? Okay? Where do you want them to be able to go? Now, what I want you to also think of is, what is their intention? So when they come into your world, what is their intention? Is their intention to say, I just want to see what this person's all about? Or let me see if this is a problem of mine? What is their intention? To give you an example, people do not come into my world with the intent of let me dabble. I've established that, right? I've established my position. I've established my messaging to know that someone that comes into my world is not here to dabble. They are not here to see what people are all about and maybe I need marketing help, maybe I need client acquisition help. They're coming to me because they're like, I need marketing and client acquisition help. I need a sales system that allows me to do that. They have an intent that matches my intent. It's the only reason why my business doesn't require loads and loads of leads. It doesn't require me pulling people and pushing them every step of the way, and why people are able to say yes so quickly, okay? So I want you to think, are you matching their intent? Drop match if you understand this, and you're gonna take a look at where your intent is and where their intent is and do those match up together, okay? So next I wanna start talking about the 3 factors of creating this intent that people actually eagerly want to run to say yes, okay? If that sounds like a foreign concept that someone's actually running to you and saying, yes, I wanna say yes to you and begging you, I'm gonna tell you this right now, this is absolutely possible. I cannot tell you how many calls I myself get on, my clients get on, that they say, Naz, before I even start talking, the person is, how can I sign up to work with you? This is a level of intent that we want to create in our sales process. Something where they are literally feeling so eager to say yes, they can't wait for you to start talking, okay? This is the difference between being able to have pre-qualified people come through your funnel or having pre-sold people at the end of your sales system, okay? Huge difference in a level of intent of what that person actually wants to do. If you are booking calls with people and maybe you're booking 50, 60 calls, maybe you're booking 10 calls, it doesn't make a difference. But if you're booking calls with people who do not have intent to say yes, then it becomes a gigantic waste of time, okay? So I wanna set the tone for you. Every single day, I'm bombarded with all of this marketing messaging out there talking about, we'll book you 300 calls a month. Hands up if that's ever been you and you've seen one of these ads, right? We'll book you 100 calls in your business. We'll book you 300 calls. We booked 500 calls last quarter. I literally heard someone say this. And I sat there and I listened. And the problem with this whole way of how marketing is done and why I keep telling you the sales intention, having that intent from the beginning is so important, is that intent is literally to play a numbers game. So their intent in the scalability of their business is, I just need to play a numbers game of how many people I can bring through the door, get on a phone call, maybe I'll close 20 to 30%. Their intent is not to bring in people who want to say yes. Their intent is, I can convince them to say yes. Do you see the difference in this, right? Now I want to think for a second. Would you rather, a game of would you rather, have 500 calls in a quarter to close 20 to 30% of those and play the numbers game and hire a sales team and have all this overhead and all this stuff? Or would you rather understand the intent of the person you're bringing into your world and close 80, 90, 100% of your calls? It seems ridiculous, right? Yet here we are building marketing processes, building client acquisition systems that are meant to speak to people who do not have the intent to say yes. They have an intent to come on a call and see what you're about, to play a game, to test the waters. They don't have an intent of saying, I want to say yes to this person. It changes how we show up when we realize the level of intent. So let's talk about the 3 core factors that allow us to create that type of intent in our business so people are showing up to say yes. Number 1, speaking to the people with intent, okay? Understanding that high intent clients are what I call premium clients. It's not about high ticket. It's not about how much they pay. It's about their intention. Are they at a point where they want to and are looking for a way to say yes? If I am not speaking to someone who has the intention, then I am willing to sit in a marketing rut of convincing. This means you're spending something like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year trying to pull people along. When we speak to people with the high intent who want to say yes or seeking solutions to say yes to, it shifts your entire message because now we're speaking to someone at a totally different level of intent. Okay. The way I say this, and I tell people a lot about this story, is imagine that your teeth are fine, there's nothing wrong, and you are like, I need to find a dentist, right? And I find 2 dentists, and dentist number 1 is like, oh yeah, go through my funnel, learn about me, and eventually book a call. So if I have a level of intent that's like, I'm just looking for solutions, I'm just bargain shopping, I'm seeing what's out there, that matches my intent. But now let's say instead, I'm the person who my tooth is killing me, it hurts so badly, and I want it fixed, right? My level of intent is at a different state. So I come in and let's say I see that same dentist who's offering me to go through their funnel, read all my content, learn and see if you like me, and eventually maybe, hey, book a call and we'll go ahead and talk about your dental opportunities. Or if I have a toothache and I find that dentist, I'm going to say, holy crap, this is not the dentist for me. This is not the person who's going to solve my problem right now. So instead, I'm going to find the dentist who, when I call, they answer. They say, yeah, hey, I can see you. Here's what I'm all about. Here's how we do things. How can I get started? The shift in how we message, how we position, how we show up based on the level of intent of the person that we are mutually meeting in the middle changes everything. I don't know about you, but I want to be the dentist who's speaking to someone who says, sign me up. Where do I go next? I don't want to speak to the person who's like, I'm window shopping. I'm checking things out. Okay. So drop a 3 if that's you and you're like, oh my gosh, Naz, I want to talk to the person who's like going to the dentist because they want their tooth fixed today, not maybe 6 months from now they're going to need my services. Okay. When we understand this is the number 1 core factor in understanding how we create a mutual level of intent for people to say yes right now. And I'm talking like 7 days. Okay. There's a reason I talk about the 7 days. They value speed. They value being sold to. They're not frustrated by you sharing your offers. They're not mad that you tag them in something about, hey, I have this offer for you. They're excited about it because to them, oh my gosh, I have an old school phone that rings every time I'm doing something. That to them, you are solving a problem that they desperately need. Okay, so the way I show up for that person looks very different. So does that mean that I'm going to get some people who are not ready and don't want to buy from me and are mad that I'm talking about my offer? Sure, but guess what? They're not the person who wanted to buy from me. But if you are tailoring your entire experience of how someone says yes to you to the person who does not want to say yes, who does not have the intention of solving their problem, you are working backwards, okay? So I want you to think about that. And this is why I talk about reverse marketing, because when we actually speak to the person who has a high level of intent, our entire way that we handle things looks differently. Okay? So that's number one core factor, is knowing that you're speaking to the people with a high level of intent. Okay? Drop high if you are ready to start literally speaking to the people with a high level intent. Number two, your intent of selling. Okay? Do you want to sell to everyone? And this is not a high ticket, low ticket thing. It's you really taking a look at, do I want to sell to everyone? Am I playing a game of, I want to just talk to a million people? And I'm not talking about niching because I hate niching. Do I want to be in the space of serving millions of people? Or do I care more about the transformation I'm creating? Do I care more about the revenue? Do I care more about the transformation? I need you to take a hard look at that. I know a lot of times people look at their offerings from a standpoint of how much money am I going to make from this, but I want you to look at your intention of selling that solution. Is your intention that I want someone to walk away with the most incredible transformation of their lives? Or is it that I just want to change them a little? Knowing that is going to change how you show up for your level of intent in selling. How confidently you support people in being able to say yes. So I need you to take a hard look at, what role do you want to play in the transformation that you're providing, because that will change the level of intent and how you show up. Okay, so for me, I want to show up with the life-changing results of people coming and saying, holy crap, Naz, this was what changed my life and in the biggest way possible. Then that means I'm going to show up in a way of high transformation, speaking to very specific people, knowing exactly what offer I create as a result of that. Knowing that intention allows me to mutually show up for those people and create what allows me to serve and support them. It also allows me to create a sales system that literally is meant for those people. Okay, you need to understand that. Because if not, you create a whole system, a whole process in your world that is not intended for the people that you want or to get the result that you want, okay? So I want you to think about the fact that your sales system is meant to mimic how people naturally make a decision. You want to use intent-based selling, because intent-based selling means you're no longer handling objections. You're no longer coddling them, holding their hands, convincing them. You're not pushing them. They now come to you and ask, how can I work with you? They now come to you and say, hey, I love what you're doing. Can I learn more? Okay? It's a complete shift in the authority and even in the control in the situation. I see a lot of people online talking about how much they hate sales calls. I don't want to do sales calls. And I say the problem with this is you have now taken a role of they are in power, right? The intent behind this is they are now coming in and seeing if you're worth their time. My sales calls look very different. We turn away half of the people we talk to because if I do not feel like you're a good fit, I have the intent of saying it's not a good fit for both of us. You become the gatekeeper and the control now becomes about you. So it's a shift in not only the perspective, but in a shift in how I show up and who I'm bringing into my world, because I'm focused on the big transformation, not simply how many people I want to come in. Okay? So I really need you to understand that. Now, number 3 is your intent on the longevity of your success, okay? Again, we touched on this a little bit, but it's about what is the result you want to provide and how do you want to retain your clients long-term. When you look at this and understand the intent behind it, it changes how you structure your business. If your intent is, I want to bring a lot of people in to learn about this one piece and I want to solve one tiny puzzle and then I want to do this, then your intent and your process within your business looks different, okay? Are you guys following what I'm saying here? Do you guys understand what I mean behind the intent of what we're doing here? Because this is the most important aspect that it gets overlooked in so much of our business. So those are the 3 core factors in creating that intent that has people running to say yes. Number 1 is speaking to the people who have intent, creating an intentional selling process that sells to those right people. And number 3 is creating the longevity of your success of knowing how you want to retain those clients. How do you want to get them results? Where do you want them to go next? Knowing that allows you to literally build based on that intent and knowing what you want to be able to create and what experience they want, so you create mutual intention. Okay? So next one I want to talk about is the simple intent formula that creates this effortless sales that actually feels good. Now you're going to hear this and you're going to be like, Naz, this is too simple. It's about their need plus your promise equals success. Okay? It's so simple, but the problem is your premium clients have a deep need. If I am talking someone into having a need, guess what? They're not my premium client. They are not the person I need to be speaking to, and therefore they don't fit my success formula, right? They don't fit the formula of their need plus my promise equals success. And if I am positioning my promise in a way that, again, makes it easy for them to see that my promise makes perfect sense to their need, they are an immediate yes. There is a reason I have people that say yes so quickly. It's not because I have some fancy sales process, or it's not because I am great at handling objections. It's because I've mastered how to understand who has the need for my specific promise, and that creates success, aka an easy yes. Okay? It's exactly what my clients are able to do, and why my clients literally go from feeling like they're tugging people in. And remember, having clients with a low level of intent isn't just meaning that your whole sales process becomes hard. Low level of intent clients don't just have a hard time in the client acquisition, they have a hard time in actually getting results. So you're left pulling them every step of the way inside your programs as well. And I don't know about you, but that is literally a recipe for disaster, because you're doing all the pulling every step of the way. You're having clients that are hard to get working with you, and they're hard to continue to get the results and therefore retain. That is the problem with not having high intent. High intent, when you have the right people, come to a call ready to say yes on a sales call. They come to every single call that you have in your program. They're eager, they are ready, they are doing the work because they want the success, because they had a high level of intent coming in. You did not talk them into it, okay? Totally different way of doing things. And this is why I'm so passionate about my Easy Yes method, is because we are literally speaking to the people who have a high level of intent and literally building the entire client acquisition system end to end to support them, not only in bringing in clients to your business, having people, you're creating the demand so people come to you and you're not pulling them along, but also in the fact that you're able to retain them, you're able to get them amazing results. So end to end, looking at that from that standpoint. How we do this is, number one, we build proprietary methodology. My clients are innovators in their field. Even if they came to me not knowing how they innovate, they come in knowing, Naz, I change people's lives. I do something incredible. My clients walk away with incredible results, but I want to be able to serve more people. I want to be able to serve people at the highest capacity I possibly can. And that's exactly what we do. We develop a proprietary methodology that allows them to create a positioning where they become the innovator in their industry. Their competition becomes irrelevant. They 5 to 10x their prices. People gladly say, yes, take my money. This is exactly what I needed. I have the intent of paying you because you are who I needed. Step 2 is we build a bingeable authority sales system. This is my Netflix inspired sales system that's built to speak to people of high level of intent. I have people who've been in business for 10, 15, 18 years come to me and they say, I'm so tired of speaking to the people who don't want to say yes. I'm so tired of catering to the people who say I can't afford it. Because that's frustrating for both parties. So what we do is we develop this system that's built to speak to the high intent client, takes them through a process that allows them to confidently make a decision, because it mimics exactly how intent is based and how we really mimic how people make decisions. So they come out the other side and you're booking calls with people who are like, give it to me. I already know I want it. You don't even need to start talking. That is what pre-sold clients look like. Okay? They are begging you to work with them. So we leverage this system that speaks directly to those people so they come out the other side saying heck yes. It's why you can close 80, 90, 100% of your calls, is because you have people who are pre-sold to working with you, because you've developed a system that speaks to them, helps them go through a quick journey without you having to do all the heavy lifting. So you're not live launching, you're not doing all this extra work. You have a system that runs in the background of your business. Step 3 is we do what's called results and retention. This is where we speak to the idea of results. My clients are not here just to make a quick buck, okay? They know that money is an amazing side effect of transformation. That is the number one thing in their book. So we help them develop what we call one offer framework. One offer framework is where we now can create an offering that supports massive and radical transformation at scale. So now they're getting their clients results, whether they're working with one client or 100 clients, their clients are getting consistent results over and over again, because we've developed an entire process that allows them to achieve that. Okay, this is the Easy Yes method. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, Naz, everything you're saying sounds amazing, drop easy in the comments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have myself or my team reach out to you, and we'll book what we call a business diagnostic call. On this call, I'm going to take a look at your client acquisition. I'm going to look at your business as it is right now. I'm going to show you where your biggest opportunities are to grow and scale it. And I'm going to share with you how I can support you in doing that using my Easy Yes method. If you're more comfortable sending me a message, you can send me a DM and just let me know that you want to book a business diagnostic call, and we'll set you up. But again, it's all about looking at the intent of your business. If you want to create high intent people who are in your world, high intent people who are ready to say yes, and create the intention to create the results long term, then you need a process that allows you to achieve this, okay? So do you guys have any questions about anything I've shared so far today, talking about this intent, talking about how we have people running to say yes by leveraging mutual intent in a sales process? I want to give you guys a second to ask any questions. Dun, dun. All right. If you have any questions and you're watching this later, jump into the comments and let me know. I'd be more than happy to come back. And again, if you want to book a business diagnostic call with myself, drop easy or send me a message, and I'm more than happy to set you up, and we'll go through again what your business looks like right now and how the client acquisition looks. I'll help you identify where that intent is missing, where we're struggling to get people on an intent journey of saying yes immediately, and I'll show you how I can actually support you in doing that and why my clients have such amazing success and are able to create the results they want in supporting and serving their clients because they've created mutual intent and built a strategy around how to take people on an intentional journey to saying an easy yes, feeling really good about it, and making their business run like it was meant to run. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and thank you so much for joining me today live or on replay, and I'll talk to you guys soon.